The 2022-23 season of the Premier League, well, it's going down to the wire at least as far as the race for the top four spots is concerned. Now, truth be told, I know what it is you're thinking. You'd say that, Arsenal currently do actually sit just 1 point behind Manchester City, but that is also with a game in hand. And truth be told, City do now, unfortunately or otherwise, look the favourites to end up winning their 5th title in 6 years. Again, could very well be wrong, but as of now, City do look firm favourites to finish at the top, and Arsenal will have to settle for a well-deserved but ultimately unsuccessful second. That being said, there is plenty of hope that the race for the other top 4 spots, that is 3rd and 4th, could very well go down to the wire. In fact, if you look at where it is, all of the teams that could potentially be finishing in the top 4 are situated currently, you'll realize it's a very tight battle, and a lot of these teams actually end up playing very similar opposition. So it could very well be a case of some teams who are well outside of the race with the top 4 actually ending up playing party spoilers. Now, but which team do I think, or which team is realistically the favourites, given, of course, the current fixtures they have, the kind of form they've shown, and of course, where it is they're situated on the table? That's what we're going to be discussing in this particular video. So let's just get down straight to it, and we'll start with the team that are currently in 3rd, and that's Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle, to say that they've been impressive this season would be something of an understatement. Yes, they couldn't win the Carabao Cup, but they've improved leaps and bounds as a team overall. And currently, they're sitting in 3rd place, and they do have an advantage of 2 points over the team that are in 4th, and that is, of course, Manchester United. Now, the key thing is which are the 4 games they have that are remaining that could potentially be banana peels or banana slips, if any of them are. They have Leeds United away, and that could very well be something of a complicated fixture, but again, probably not as much. Brighton at home could be probably the most key fixture, because Brighton also are very much in the mix as far as the title or the top 4 race is concerned. Leicester home, well, that's another tricky one you can say, but Leicester currently are in a scrap for relegation. And Chelsea away, that's on the final day of the Premier League. That should, in theory, be an easy game for Newcastle United. And I know I'm saying this as a Chelsea fan, but yeah, that's pretty much the reality of the situation. That being said, Newcastle do very much have their fate in their own hands and have arguably probably one of the easier fixture runs in this particular, let's say, bracket. Especially so when you look at what it is that the other teams have to face off with. Manchester United, who currently sit in 4th place, well, they are just 1 point clear of 5th, and they could have been better off than where they are right now, because truth be told, if they had to get even a draw against West Ham United, then it would have been a better situation for them. Of course, West Ham being in the predicament that they were in, Manchester United really should have won, but that means that their fate still is in some ways in their own hands. But again, some of these fixtures can be a little tricky. Wolves at home, Wolves are a team that are blowing hot and cold, but when they blow hot, they can beat anyone. Bournemouth recently lost to Chelsea, but are a team that are much improved. They have Chelsea to play at Old Trafford, which again, in theory, should be an easy fixture. And then Fulham at home to finish the season. Of course, Fulham are not an easy side at all. And given the fact that Manchester United's competition isn't just Newcastle, but other clubs as well, all 4 of these fixtures, in theory, are must-win for Erik ten Hag's men. So that really should be the tough part, because again, recently United have been going through a bit of a slump in their last 3 or 4 games. I think they've drawn 1 and they've lost 2 and only won 1, and even that was a very hard-fought win against Aston Villa. So really, United are blowing hot and cold right now, and truth be told, I would be a little nervous if I were a United fan, because again, there's no surety as to how this team is playing. The good form that they had, say, over 2 months back seems to have eroded altogether. Next up, we have to look at Liverpool, who are experiencing a bit of a resurgence. And yes, even though they tend to blow very hot and very cold, they too can be seen as a side who are peaking at absolutely the right time, because again, they're currently only in 5th place, but they only have a gap of 1 point from Manchester United, who are sitting in 4th place. So really, that's pretty advantageous. What's not so advantageous for Liverpool is that they've played a fixture extra. That really is the problem. Whereas the other 2 teams have played 34, Liverpool, well, they've played 35 fixtures. And if you look at the 3 games they have, none of them, except for barring maybe the Aston Villa game, which is a home game for them, is a tough match. Leicester away should be a breeze, as would be Southampton away, because again, both of these teams are currently in the battle for relegation, so shouldn't be too tough. But that Aston Villa game will be must win, because Aston Villa also do stand an outside chance right now of actually making it, if not to the top 4, but let's say to even the top 6 or 7. They could very well be finishing there, and they've been a side improved under Unai Emery. So again, it shouldn't be that easy for Liverpool either, but 3 games, their destiny is in their own hands, and should they actually be able to get all 3 of these points, all 3 of these wins rather, should I say, would be a good job done, especially if one of Newcastle or Man United end up slipping up. But the big outliers are Brighton and Hove Albion, because they currently sit in 7th place. So you must be thinking, wait, Spurs are in 6th place. How is it that they don't get to make the cut in this video ahead of Brighton? Well, that's because also you have to look at recent form. Spurs, unfortunately, have not looked that good when it comes to recent form. Yes, they've been brilliant in flashes or good in flashes, but the inconsistencies that have plagued them throughout are showing up consistently. And the advantage that Brighton have is that they've played 2 less games than some of the teams at the top 4. They've played 32 games, which means they still have 6 matches left in which they could actually determine their own destiny. Now again, of these 6 matches, not all of them are easy matches. Yes, Everton at home should be easy, but they have Arsenal away. They have Newcastle away, which is again with a direct rival for the top. Southampton at home should be easy, but thereafter they have Man City at home, and they have Aston Villa away to finish the season. Again, barring 2 of these fixtures, which are Everton and Southampton, all 6 of these fixtures are tough fixtures for Brighton, but they have shown plenty of progress under Roberto De Zerbi, and you cannot write them off from any of these fixtures, because again, they've just been in that kind of form, but they would be outsiders at best. You would expect them to maybe slip up against the likes of an Arsenal, a City, Newcastle, maybe even a Villa. Doubtful it is that they be able to take all of the remaining 18 points that they have. If they can though, they'd very well be in with a chance of finishing 4th, and what a story that would be for them. But of course, the purpose of this video is not to talk just about Brighton, but to look at which of these 4 teams really has a good chance. And as of now, I would say that Manchester United, even though their form has been up and down, still have the upper hand as to Newcastle United, because Newcastle have been the beacon of consistency in recent times. Yes, they lost 2-0 to Arsenal, but this is an Arsenal side that were for the longest of times leading the Premier League. So right now, these 2 teams are the favourites. Brighton, Liverpool, very much outliers, but you know what they say with the Premier League, absolutely anything can happen. So these next few weeks should be pretty interesting, and who knows, if we get an upset, I mean, don't we all love an upset in football? It would be great to see a team like a Brighton maybe make it to the top 4. It would be deserving just reward for just the kind of job they've been doing, but as I said, outside chance at best for now. But that's just how I feel about it. What do you guys think? You can let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and don't forget to download the Sportsbook app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.